The biggest surprise of fatherhood for me was being in the delivery room. I knew at that moment there was a God, this is a miracle, and it's okay to love something more than yourself. I think as a parent, as a father, you have to be flexible. You know, my children they're both different. I have two boys, Graham and Schaefer, and they're both different. One is an extrovert, one is an introvert. One likes peanut butter, the other one is allergic to peanut butter. One loves to win, and one hates to lose. And there's a difference. But what I learned most is that they're smarter than you think they are. But as a parent and as a father, I have to be flexible. There are 2 or 3 points I want to make for my boys, for them to carry on with them in their life. Number 1, follow Jesus. Not only in word, but also in deed. Let the Spirit of God come out of you. Number 2, I think it's always important to work hard. Work hard and pray. And pray without ceasing. I mean, sometimes we work hard, we don't think it's benefiting anyone, but pray about it. Don't ever get discouraged. You work hard and you stay focused and you stay positive and you move on. And number 3, don't ever be afraid to do what's right. Don't ever be afraid to tell the truth. Don't ever compromise off your Christian values. And whatever you do, don't ever justify wrong. Wrong is wrong, period. We can't justify wrong, but we can always do what's right. And Jesus has our back. How do I become a better father? Well, first of all, fatherhood is on-the-job training. It is what it is. I mean, there are very few books that can relate to my family. So fatherhood is on-the-job training. I would say in order to be a good father, you first got to be a good husband, because I think it's very important that your children see you in a relationship between you and your wife. I want my boys to know I love their mother. I also want them to know that their mother and I are one. I didn't become a father until I got to First Colony, until I was a member at First Colony. Ronnie talks about being in that village. I had a great village. First Colony was a great village for me because I had other members, part of the church, that were young fathers like myself. And then there were those members who had older children that we used as role models. So I was very fortunate. And I also think it's important, or believe that it's important to hang around like-minded people. What lessons did I learn from my father? Well, my father grew up in Mississippi in the 40s and the 50s. And a person who could have been bitter about the future wasn't. He was awesome. He was incredible. He was an old school dad. He loved me as much as I wanted to be loved, and he taught me the lessons I needed to know. My dad, he had a forgiving heart. I never saw him speak bad words about anybody, and he was the nicest guy. I mean, he was awesome. I mean, I love my dad, and so much so, my oldest son, Graham, is named after my dad. It's for that reason that I did that, because my dad was pretty incredible. He was incredible. He was just an old school dad who just loved his children. And I am so grateful. My boys knew my dad, and my dad knew my boys. And I couldn't have had a better father. What's the hardest part about being a dad? Well, for me, that took place many years ago. I had to tell my children, the world we live in right now, some people would judge you by your appearance and not your character, and that's okay. You pray for them. Number 2, it's tough as a father in our society today to let go. But I've had to do that and rely on God more. This is where my faith comes in. I love my boys. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, and I pray for them every night. That's important for me. In the world we live in, we have to pray for our children. You know, it's tough, and this is something I never want to experience. Losing a child, whether it's on a battlefield, whether it's by disease, whether it's on the streets of this country. No one wants to lose a child, and it's tough. That's where my faith comes in. I am so thankful. God has blessed us. Letting go. That's the toughest thing I've had to do. And pray that the people they come in contact see their character way beyond their appearance.